The story begins by showing the life of Lisa, a kindergarten teacher who works alongside her assistant, Megan. Lisa is truly passionate about her job. She wants her students to have fun, but also to learn at the same time. All the kids love her, but deep down, Lisa can't help feeling dissatisfied with her life. She takes a poetry class once a week, led by Professor Simon, but her writing isn't very good and is often criticized as boring. Her husband Grant always supports her. He's eager to read her poems and encourages her to keep writing. Lisa loves him, but she still feels frustrated by the lack of passion in their lives. They have 2 teenage kids, Josh and Laini, but Lisa struggles to connect with them since they mostly ignore her. One afternoon after class, one of her students, Jimmy, is waiting to be picked up when he suddenly recites a poem he came up with, talking about deep concepts like beauty and God. Lisa is stunned and immediately writes it down. She can't believe someone so young could have that kind of talent. When Jimmy's nanny Becca arrives, Lisa asks her to write down any poem Jimmy comes up with at home. Later that night, Lisa excitedly shares the poem with Grant. He agrees, it's beautiful, and is amazed that a child could think like that. The next day, Lisa reads the poem in her poetry class, pretending it's hers, and for the first time, she receives praise from her classmates, even from Simon. From that moment on, Lisa becomes obsessed with Jimmy, eager to see what else his brilliant mind can create. One day, Lisa hears Jimmy say a bad word during recess and punishes him by bringing him into the classroom. There, she tries to get him to talk about his poem, wondering if the Anna mentioned in it is his mother. But Jimmy doesn't want to talk about poetry. He simply says his mom is dead. Lisa encourages him to create another poem, but he stays silent. After class, Lisa leaves Jimmy with Megan for a moment while she talks to Becca. She mentions how Jimmy can go from energetic on the playground to quiet in class. Becca says he's like that at home too, calling him weird. Lisa doesn't like that at all and ignores it, asking instead about his poems. Becca explains she's the only one in the house who knows Jimmy writes poetry because his family doesn't pay attention to him. His father is always busy working, and his mother is in Miami, so Jimmy basically considers her dead. The only one who really spends time with him is his uncle, who often visits and reads with him. That makes Lisa happy at least. Someone supports the kid. Before leaving, Becca gives Lisa another poem Jimmy wrote. Later, Lisa reads it in class and gets even more praise. Even though some students say it doesn't match the assignment, Simon doesn't care. He loves it and says assignments shouldn't be taken literally. When Lisa gets home, she's in such a good mood that she tries to connect with her daughter, talking about how she used to love photography and had talent with Grant's camera. But Lainey isn't interested in old cameras. That disappoints Lisa, who doesn't see artistic value in that. Lisa then tries to call Jimmy's father to talk about his talent, but he doesn't answer. Sometime later, while the class is taking a nap, Lisa intentionally wakes Jimmy and takes him to the teacher's bathroom. There, she encourages him to think from an adult's perspective. He says it feels like being a giant, but quickly gets bored and wants to go back to sleep. Lisa lets him go, after making him promise to think more about seeing the future differently. At the end of the day, her efforts seem to pay off. Jimmy recites another poem, but it catches Lisa off guard, and she can't write it all down. Jimmy refuses to repeat it. Megan is nearby but doesn't pay attention. She thinks he's just singing randomly, which frustrates Lisa because she doesn't appreciate his talent. When Becca comes to pick him up, Lisa bombards her with questions, worried about all the poetic moments they might be missing. Becca starts to feel uncomfortable, but still agrees to let her know whenever Jimmy comes up with something. As days pass, Lisa's obsession becomes more unsettling. One afternoon, she meets Jimmy's uncle, Sanjay, who works at a local newspaper. Lisa explains how important it is to protect Jimmy's talent in a world that would crush it. She also criticizes Becca for treating him like a baby. Sanjay promises to keep visiting Jimmy and reading with him, but says Lisa should really talk to the boy's father, since the father still doesn't call back. Lisa crosses a line. She secretly takes Jimmy's phone from his bag. Once again, she wakes him during nap time and shows him how to save her number, so he can call her whenever he thinks of a poem. She even tells him not to let Becca call him Little Bunny, because it's demeaning. At home, things aren't any better. Lisa and Grant argue with Josh, who has decided to throw away his college acceptance letters and join the Marines instead. During the fight, Josh accuses Lisa of only caring about imaginary achievements, leaving her in tears. After he leaves, Grant tries to comfort her, but the moment doesn't last long. As soon as her phone rings, Lisa rushes to answer it. It's Jimmy, with another poem. The next day, Lisa praises him at school, and even shares one of her own poems, but Jimmy doesn't react. Later, Lisa comes home and finds her kids throwing a pool party with weed. Furious, she confronts Layin, saying she wishes there were more intellectual values in the house. Layin fires back, saying Lisa doesn't appreciate her good grades and is just pretending to be intellectual because of her poetry class. 3 days later, Simon calls Lisa to his office, praises her work, and invites her to read her poems at a poetry night at his favorite bar. Lisa happily accepts, but when she shares the same poem she read to Jimmy, Simon isn't impressed. He talks instead about the visionary writing in her other poems, the ones she stole, and gets so excited that they end up hooking up. They have fun, but it's clear Simon is more attracted to her art than to her. That reaction makes Lisa think, and she decides Jimmy should be the one performing his poems publicly. When she tells him, he agrees. They start practicing in the school auditorium. That night, tired of waiting, Lisa goes to the bar where Jimmy's father, Nikhil, works. He's happy to hear his son is smart, but Lisa insists his talent needs nurturing. Nikhil wants to support Jimmy, but doesn't want him to end up like Sungjay, a struggling writer. Lisa offers to take care of Jimmy after school, and Nikhil agrees. But when she mentions the poetry reading, he forbids Jimmy from going because he has baseball practice. So on the day of the event, Lisa lies, saying Jimmy isn't feeling well, dresses him up, and takes him to the reading. Jimmy performs flawlessly and shines on stage. When asked who wrote the poems, Lisa admits it was Jimmy. Someone asks who Anna is, and Jimmy says it can be anyone you love. In his case, it's Megan. That breaks Lisa's heart, and she starts crying. After calming down, she panics when she can't find Jimmy, but he's with Simon. However, Simon immediately tells her she's no longer allowed in his class and accuses her of exploiting a child. It's late, so Lisa takes Jimmy to her house to sleep. That night, Grant asks if she's ashamed of her own children. She denies it, but her hesitation says everything. The next day, Jimmy doesn't show up to school. Lisa tries calling, but nothing. Finally, Nikhil calls, furious. He tells her Jimmy is being transferred to another school. Lisa tries to act normal, but breaks down crying again. After work, she goes home with a plan. Her obsession won't let her give up. But first, she tries to reconnect with her family. She acts sweet, convinces everyone to have dinner together, and things seem better for a moment. But the next morning, Lisa leaves with a suitcase, instead of going to work. She follows Nikhil to find out where Jimmy's new school is. Later, during recess, she approaches Jimmy and invites him to go swimming, something he loves. Jimmy agrees, and even says he missed her. In Lisa's mind, that justifies everything. She ends up kidnapping him and takes him to the beach. They spend the afternoon having fun, and Jimmy even gets inspired to create another poem. That night, they stay at a hotel. While Lisa is showering, Jimmy locks her inside the bathroom. Desperate, she tries to convince him to let her out, but he grabs the phone instead. Realizing there's no way out, Lisa finally gives up. Through tears, she tells him to call 911 and gives him the hotel name and room number, asking him to tell the police she's not armed. After the call, she convinces him to let her out so she can get dressed. As she brushes her hair, Jimmy holds her hand. Even after everything, he doesn't like seeing her sad. When the police arrive, they take Jimmy away. Overwhelmed, he says he has a new poem, but no one listens. And that's how this powerful story comes to an end. If you want to check out another similar story, make sure to visit my channel. I'll be uploading new videos every week. Thank you all so much for watching, and for leaving your likes and comments.
In case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.